I found this moneymaker on Reddit a few days ago and I was like, there is no way this is actually possible. What you're saying is that you can make more money with this method than endgame bossing in old school RuneScape. I just have to try it out myself. If you don't know what I'm talking about, basically bots have taken over old school RuneScape. And this guy is saying that killing the Revenant bots in the wilderness can give you 10 million GP an hour. So I was like, okay, let's see what this is about. Unfortunately for this method, the best combat bracket for an account is somewhere between combat 60 to 100. You don't want to go any higher than that. And since I don't have that kind of account myself, I got help from one of my community members, Jake. He let me borrow his pure for a few hours so I can test this moneymaker out myself, and I just want to say thank you, Jake. I'll put his links in the description. He's a really good player. Okay, first things first, this method has the most bare minimum requirements and the only hard level you need is 85 magic for Teleblock. That's it. Like I said, I would recommend combat level between 60 to 90. You can go as high as level 100, but then you're gonna be missing out on those low level 50 combat bots that are like the most easiest targets ever. Basically what the bot makers are doing right now is that they start very small at 50 combat, because all they need for Revenant bot farm is just magic shortbow and some D-hide. So they start farming at level 50 and sometimes these bots go up to level 90 or even 100 level combat. So you want to cover that entire combat bracket if possible to ensure the most amount of loot. Okay, so let's talk about the methods. The entire purpose of this method is that the bots are taking over the Revenant caves and we can take advantage of that. And there is a very specific way to target these bots that guarantee you a kill almost 100% of the time. On average, it takes like 2 minutes to kill one bot, and the loot varies between 300k to 1 million GP. And the best part about this is that you don't have to be good at PKing to do this. I mean, I absolutely suck at PKing, as you're gonna see in this video, and I still managed to make a butt ton of money. So let me make it very clear. We're not here to PK. We are here to pick up free gold. That's it. Basically, you need few things to make this work. You need teleblocks and entangle for magic, and you need either a ranged weapon or a melee weapon, whichever one you prefer or whichever you have higher stats in. Essentially how these bots are set up is that they pray against whatever weapon you are using, but they're always like 1 second late with their prayers, so the easiest method to trick these bots is to equip your magic weapon and then on the last second either switch it to melee or range, which makes the bot go to complete error mode. You can pretty much see in the scripts that their entire matrix just completely malfunctions, like 404, what do I pray? I don't know what to do. Especially if I get close by them after I entangle, because the bot also knows that a melee attack might come very soon. So it has to swap between 3 prayers perfectly, and sometimes it just completely shuts down. And the best part is, since there are so many bots in the game right now, you can essentially hop to any world and you will find at least one bot exactly like this. And it's gotten so competitive that bots are now fighting each other for resources, which I thought was hilarious predicament itself. So basically, yeah, get your magic gear for teleblocks and your range or melee gear. Also, I highly recommend is that you get Ring of Recalls, because the bots actually use magic shortbow and they attack you back, which is free damage against them. And since they do attack back, the only prayer you should be using is Protect from range. They don't have any other weapons, so you don't need to worry about anything else. One of the things I noticed is that the bots get really confused if I have a magic staff equipped but I use it as a melee weapon. They usually keep protecting magic while I smack them around with the staff. Also, okay, let me show you the route to take here. You come from Ferox Enclave and you enter here. Keep in mind you have to pay 1 time 100k fee to enter. You start your way over here with Hobgoblins, then you go to Orcs, then you move to the other Orcs, then you do Demons, and then at the end you do Fire Fiends. I found the most amount of bots are at Demons and Fire Fiends, but there are also bots at Orcs as well. There's no point going further into the cave like this because bots usually don't go that deep. And yeah, the method itself is pretty simple, like I said. When you see a bot, use a teleblock on it. It will at first try to run away from you, and it will pray magic, which means your teleblock will only last 2 minutes and 30 seconds, aka half teleblock. Once it's teleblocked, it will start the command to run to Edgefield Bank, and this is where you try to hunt it down. After you entangle the bot, you have like 4, maybe sometimes 5 attacks before the entangle disappears, so you can keep count yourself and try to stay ahead of the bot, which I didn't do do, by the way, because I suck at PKing, but that will ensure that you catch another entangle on the bot. And as you can see, the bot will always spray depending on what weapon you are wearing, so staff is mostly mage spray, bow is range spray, and so on. The most important thing is to abuse this mechanic if you want the most efficient kills, because like I said, you can take advantage of wearing the wrong weapon and then surprise hit with another weapon to get maximum damage. Now, I'm pretty lazy, not only at PKing but life itself, and I just did this for fun to test it out, but I swear if you took this seriously, you can pretty much double the loot you get here. Every time a bot dies, it usually drops at least 300k loot, but for instance, as you can see from this loot key, I got almost 700k and it took me literally like 90 seconds to kill the bot. Sometimes the kill takes like 20 seconds if you're fast enough or you get high hits. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think the guy was telling the truth. If you really want this and you're a good PKer, you can get up to 10 million GP an hour here, maybe sometimes even more than that. On average, it takes like 2 minutes for kills. Sometimes they do get away though, so it's not 100% guaranteed, but most of the time they just run out of food if you have enough DPS, because they have to run essentially from level 30 wilderness to edge full bank, and ain't no bot out eating that much DPS, especially if you get good entangles. And like I said, you don't really need good PKing skills to do this. I know I sound like a broken clock at this point, but I really am not good at PKing, like you see from these clips. And I want to say I had like 80% success rate on killing these bots, so even if you make less GP, it's still miles ahead of almost any other moneymaker. And the best part is, every time a bot dies, they have to pay another 100k GP fee to enter the Revenant caves. Even though I don't think they mind players PKing them, I mean, of course, they rather let the bots farm in peace, but these bots make like 40, sometimes maybe like 50 million GP a day here. So I'm sure like losing 300k is not that much. But yeah, it's just a fun activity to firstly learn the basics of PKing, like using your spells, prayer switches, movements, and so on. And secondly, you can make tons of profit while learning, which honestly sounds like a win-win. I am using a level 1 defense pure, which means I have to eat a lot more food. But if you have 40 defense, you can pretty much camp for 3-4 loot keys, then bank, and then repeat the process. Oh, and as you can see from these clips, I sometimes accidentally get real players as well. I didn't mean to, this was only meant for hunting bots, but we'll call that collateral damage. I'm so sorry, real players, you look like bots to me. I'm sorry, I'm really sorry. Oh, which reminds me again, these bots only wear magic shortbow, nothing else. They have Amulet of Avarice, which they protect item, they have D'hide armor and magic shortbow with snakeskin, basically the cheapest gear. I found that smiting their Avarice amulet is not worth doing, because mostly the script just either dies on purpose not to lose the Avarice amulet they have, or they have like 4 super restores left, which means you're never gonna smite them. Plus, as you've seen throughout this video, they sometimes hit pretty hard with magic shortbow, because they do have most of the time like 80 plus range levels, so it's just best to keep protect from range on at all times. So, how much did I make with this method myself? I did this a little bit over an hour and I got 5.4 million GP. So, not exactly 10 million GP as promised, but like I said, I did a lot of stupid mistakes. I probably let like 3 million GP walk away from me because I either didn't know the best way to DPS the bots, or my brain just froze, or sometimes I just didn't have enough DPS in general because I had to eat much more than I anticipated. So if I actually made an account for this, which was 40 defense, 85 magic and some range levels, and the entire purpose of it was to kill these bots, then yes. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I really think it's possible to get up to 10 million GP an hour here. Not every hour, not always, but like I showcased before, you can easily get 700k in just 90 seconds of work. That's how good it is. So even though it's probably not the most stable moneymaker, it's actually tons of fun, and every time a bot suffers in the game, I am happy. So yeah, what are you waiting for? Get out there, go grab yourself that free GP. I will say this though, probably when this video goes out, there's gonna be a lot more people in those caves hunting those bots, so be careful with that. But the good thing is, it seems Jagex just doesn't care about bots anymore, so they are here to stay, which means as long as Revenant caves exist, this moneymaker will always work. Almost zero effort, really easy, 5 to 10 million GP an hour moneymaker. I thank you so much for watching this video, and if you enjoyed, consider subscribing, but for now, I'll see you all tomorrow with another video. Bye! Mwah.